We've had a few people ask for a farm tour, so today I'm going to give you one. Hey there, it's Dana here from Piwakawaka Valley. Today I thought I'd take you on a bit of a farm tour. First up is our vegetable garden. This is where all our main vegetables grow for the year. And if you'd like to see more from that, I've actually got a full garden tour if you check out the info cards up the top. We don't bother usually growing sort of main crop onions or main crop potatoes, but we do try and grow sort of carrots, peas, beans, tomatoes, capsicums. This year we're giving corn a go. We've got some purple potatoes in, which are native Māori potato. Well, I don't know if they're native, but they're known as Māori potatoes. They're purple and they taste really good. They make really good potato salad. This year my beetroot's been really rubbish, but such is life, eh? Our garden's been quite wet. Well, the whole year's been quite wet. The rain, we've had a lot of rain. So the garden's taken a wee while to get going. So I'll take you down and I'll show you the chickens and things. First I'll show you, we've got a couple of quail. And the girls have got pet cockatiels as well. See if I can get some photos of the quail for you. Now these aren't the normal Homestead quail, these are the little tiny button quail that you have as pets. We'd like to get the Japanese quail at some point, but these are the little Chinese quail and they're quite cute. And this is Zebby. She's a bit of a honey. We got these three tiny little quails. Our farm goes from that fence line that you can see off in the distance along there, and we own all of that gorse and native bush, and it goes way down the hill and way down the bottom past the sheds. I can't see it on here. Way down there is a cemetery, and we back onto the cemetery and then we cut back across this way. So down there is a very steep gully, and that hill there is only goat territory. It is incredibly steep. However, it's covered in gorse, but a lot of that is native bush that's regenerating as well. So we're trying to thin out the gorse and let the native bush take over. We want that gully to stay as native bush. The name Piwakawaka Valley came from when we first came to visit here. The gorse was actually all full of these cute little native birds called Piwakawaka, or they're also known as fantails. So there were all these little birds flitting around the place, and particularly up the gully. So at the moment we've got far too much grass for how many animals we have on it, but that's okay. We did used to have a cow at one stage, but our place is too steep for her, and she ended up slipping and breaking her tail, which was less than ideal. And besides that, we couldn't get her mated either. We had an outbreak of microbovis something, and no one wanted to lend us a bull, and no one wanted her on the property. We personally didn't have a breakout of anything. It was just nationwide. Everyone was on high alert. So we've currently only got the 3 goats. We have a buck coming. We would like to have more goats, but we can't afford to keep buying them, so we're going to hopefully breed up a herd is the plan. They will be for the freezer ultimately. And so we're focusing mostly on chickens. We have had meat rabbits in the past. For like quite a few years we had meat rabbits, but we found that actually we can't feed them grass because of the RCD. It's really hard to store all the hay that you need to feed them because it has to be stored for months as well because of RCD. So we've ended up, and then we were buying pelleted feed for them, and when it worked out to be $15 a kilo or something for raising the rabbits, it wasn't worth it for us. If we could raise them on grass it wouldn't be such a big deal, but we just can't here. We've got too many wild rabbits and we lost too many to the virus. It's just not economical, and we've given raising these meat chickens a go as well. but that's just not economical either for us, so we're going to focus mostly on things we can raise on grass. So for us, that'll be the goats, potentially maybe another cow. We haven't really talked too much about that. And the kuni pigs, because they're great. They're solely grass fed, and we do give them nuts and stuff just to keep them friendly, but pig nuts, not actual nuts, but to keep them friendly. Yeah, for now we're going to focus on meat, things that we can raise on grass. They're cheaper and easier for us to manage. The smaller things, we'll keep the chickens for laying eggs, that's the plan, and we want to sell fertile eggs as well. So we'll go off and see the pigs. This is my strawberry area. I've got about 400 strawberries, and out there is the food forest. The kids have had people sleeping over last night, so they've gone down and fed most of the animals this morning, but they've kindly left me the chicks that still need fed. Feeding the pigs is probably my favourite thing to do. They're lots of fun. They'll come running when you call them. Look. Oh wow, piggies! Let me just check how much water they've got. Oh, they've got heaps. We've just had some pig nipples arrive in the mail. We're going to give them a waterer, make them one with a barrel. From here I think we'll go down through the paddock and see if the goats are there and feed the chickens. We've actually had this paddock shut off. It's we're going to use it for keeping the kunis in. Originally we put it in as a place for the goats to have their babies safely, because we actually don't have any other real internal fencing. So the last time we had goats having babies, they all disappeared off down the hill and had them down in the bushes, and our first time mums lost their babies, which was a pretty hard lesson to learn. So we've made this top paddock so that we could put the mums in there so that they wouldn't go off and have their babies in stupid places, but in the meantime we've decided to get pigs. Here's the goaties. Our mama duck's sitting on a nest, but actually our daddy duck unfortunately decided to take himself into the backyard where he met his doom with some dogs that thought he'd be a great play toy, which was rather sad. So this is our rabbit house. hang out in here. We've got Mummy Bunny down here. If you can see her, there she is. And she's got some babies around. Here's one of them. And the wee ginger ones just run into their house. There's Daddy Bunny over there. And in this area here, which is an absolute shambles, which is getting cleaned out tomorrow, this is our sort of kill shed sort of area for processing animals. So tomorrow I plan on doing the meat chickens that I'll show you shortly. So we need this all cleaned out. The table's helpful to have in here, but probably not the building supplies. Now along here we have some chicken houses. Everything's a wee bit muddy at the moment because we've had a lot of rain. But a couple of chicken houses. These are the chickens. We've just put them in here. These are the chickens that are going to be processed. They're Indian game, light Sussex cross. Along here, these are our laying chickens. They're all out running around. Someone's digging a hole over there. There's our beautiful rooster. I like him because he stays far away from me. And around here you can see this is our big chicken house. It's got a massive run attached to it, and the other day I was out here getting the eggs and the door fell off. So the chickens have just got flaps at the moment. We'll fix that door tomorrow. This door here's a bit higgledy-piggledy as well. I think we might have to change a wee bit of what we're doing. I think we might have to see if we can make it fold down or fold up, or cut it in half and only half fold or something. This is our water system. You're not allowed to laugh at our guttering though. It's a bit rough. Our first attempt at guttering, and it was a disaster, but it catches water and it goes into that bin, and when that bin gets full we pour it into that bin over there. And this area down here is actually full of fruit trees. We'll see if we can see one. The fruit trees are kind of lost in the grass a wee bit, so they're taking a wee while to grow. One day I want to turn it into a food forest as well. So this tree here has been in maybe for 3 years, I think, maybe 2, but it should be a lot bigger than it is. But it's growing, and it's all trees. They're trees that I've grafted myself, so some of them had to be grafted again. The grafts failed because of the wind, our predominant wind. Our predominant wind comes from down there and just rips up this hillside. So it can be pretty rough. Got a couple of wildling pines there, and I'll show you. I've had a few people ask me what gorse is, because our place is covered in it, and a lot of Kiwis will know. Whoop! I just found down a drainage ditch. A lot of Kiwis will know, and people from the UK will know, but I don't think it's particularly common in the US. So this is our friend gorse. There's a few raspberries in here as well. This apple tree's got an apple on it this year, which is exciting. Actually, that's a pear. That's a pear tree. Look, this one along here's got a bunch on. Whoop. This happens to be our sewage outfall, so it's quite lumpy. There's quite a few pears on this one. Just found a little currant bush in the long grass as well. Our plan down here is to put rows, long rows, sort of this way, of chicken wire and pin it up between the rows of trees and put some different assortments of chickens, heritage breed chickens, that we're going to keep separate as breeding trios, so that hopefully we can sell. So hopefully we can sell eggs, fertile eggs. Making the new chicken runs was meant to be a summer project for this year, but the weather's been a bit rough, to be honest, so we haven't got around to doing it. Well, I better get on and feed the chickens. These chickens in here, these are our Indian games, and that rooster up there, I don't know if you can see him. The rooster in here, he's an Indian game like Sussex Cross, and he's a fantastic meat bird, but he's vicious as anything. And the children have actually called him Voldemort. Whereas his father next door, which is a big beautiful light Sussex, he's so lovely, and the kids have called him Dumbledore. This is our new brooder house. You have to excuse the mess, tomorrow's clean out day. Look at these wee chickies. There's a mixture in there of Arakunas, there's a light Sussex, there's some Silkies and some Barnvelders, and there might even be a Barred Rock, I'm not sure. They're eggs that we got from a friend of ours who breeds chickens, and she just gave us a bunch. And we've got 80 eggs. We've got 60 eggs in the incubator again at the moment from her as well. As always seems to happen to me, someone's taken my bucket. I'll go and see if I can find it. Now this here is our new run that we've attached to this. This used to be our goat's house, but we're using it to raise some of these new laying chickens. I'd love to know what someone's done with my bucket. I guess I just have to carry the bag along, eh? Ah, there it is. Found it. Now these are our new laying hens, some of which we'll be selling on. And these big white fellas, they're what we call cobs. In America they're similar to your Cornish cross. And you can see those white birds are the same age as the little brown birds. They're actually born on the same day. they're all busy having a good feed at the moment, but it just surprises me. I don't think people comprehend just how frankenbird our meat birds really are that we have that you can buy at the supermarket these days. Like those white things are 8 weeks old. Look at them. So they're destined for the freezer this weekend, mostly because they're eating us out of house and home. At the moment we're going through a whole sack of grain a day, feeding everybody. I do feel bad for Mrs. Duck. She doesn't realise her eggs aren't fertile. Those bags behind her are full of poop, goat poop that were too wet for us to carry, so we've stacked them up there to let them dry out a bit, and then we'll put them up into the garden. Seems to be a never-ending list of things that need done, and with hubby working during the week, it's kind of only the weekends that things manage to get done, really. We didn't actually set out to buy ourselves a farm, believe it or not. We set out to get ourselves a quarter acre, but we couldn't find anything that was affordable in town, so we came half an hour south of town and found 10 acres that we could afford. So we didn't really think about the long-term consequences of owning so much land. We didn't really think about the fact that it was all covered in gorse, because actually we were only really interested in the top bit, which was where most of the sort of flatter land is. And I just wanted somewhere we could have chickens and some vegetables and some fruit trees, and we've done this before in town on a quarter acre, but the mortgage was just killing us, so we thought we'll try again somewhere a bit cheaper. We're really glad we did, but it's a lot of work, and especially with the baby and homeschooling the kids, and there's just not enough hours in the day really. But on a day like this, it's quite beautiful just to stand here and look at it all. Considering it's meant to be summer, the weather's been really quite rubbish. We've had lots of rain, which is probably for the best, because we've accidentally left the tap on this top tank a couple of times and it's emptied out. Luckily the bottom tank's full, but yeah, we've had lots of rain. Usually by this time of year the lawn has all cracked and it's dry. And I know further north in the country they've got quite severe droughts, but we haven't. We've had so much rain, it's a bit ridiculous. Our ground's still mushy, the food forest is still so wet, it's ridiculous. But you know, can't complain. The garden's growing. I haven't had to water it, that's got to be a positive. Our great plans for this place for this year, for 2020, would be to put in these chicken houses for these for the chicks that you saw, the barnwouders and the arakunas and things. And we've got our goats. We've got a boar buck, a young one that'll be coming in April, I think. And we're going to get some more pigs as well, hopefully. Two of those pigs are for the freezer, one for us and one for my parents. And one of them is our boar, which we'll keep him, and we'll get 2 girls. There's a litter in Christchurch, which we're hoping from a registered breeder up there, and we're going to become registered breeders ourselves. The Kunis are quite rare. The reason we like them is because they're lard pigs, so they're quite fatty, which is for us a good thing. We use the fat for all sorts of things. One thing I do hate about here is those sandflies. We have so many of them. And when this tank empties and we end up with a puddle down there, the sandflies breed in them, which is a bit rough. Yeah, so the aim of the game this year is to try and get this property making us a little bit of money between selling fertile eggs, selling pullets, selling laying chickens. I'll be selling a little bit of our spare produce to a local CSA box. Eventually we'll have lots of fruit and things to sell as well. I'd like to try my hand at growing some plants for selling for a nursery while I'm at it. Just all those little things that'll kind of add up. So we'll see how we go. So that's pretty much the Piwakawaka Valley farm tour over. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit the subscribe button so you can follow along with our adventures, and I'll see you in the next video.